Alright, what is going on everyone? Pi Studios here. I just wanted to quickly go over the new Sonic Superstars stuff, as I think it actually looks pretty cool. I'm just gonna read the website, because I'm lazy, but yeah. Play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Rose, and harness all new Emerald powers to move and attack in dynamic new ways. We saw that in the trailer where they like transformed into a squid or something. I don't know. We'll see how useful it actually ends up being. Navigate gorgeous, never before seen environments solo or with up to 3 other players and stop Dr. Eggman, Fang, and a mysterious new adversary from converting the island's giant animals into badniks before it's too late. We've seen this new adversary. He's like a little wooden guy, I think. I don't know. I'll put him on screen now. A new spin on a classic, the 2D Sonic high-speed side-scrolling action platforming you know and love. Oh my god, that's so many words. Reimagined with fully 3D graphics, new powers, and abilities, in an all-new setting and new ways to play. You've never played classic Sonic like this before. Have we? Other than new settings, there's a thing called Sonic Generations, which I guess didn't have new powers, but like it's not that dissimilar. And of course this one just highlighting that there's co-op. I think the co-op's actually going to be really good in this game, as long as the level design isn't like too punishing for there being like 4 people on the screen. Especially with some of the new Super Mario Brothers games, those can be kind of punishing if you have 4 people on screen, and especially if these people aren't great at video games. That can get kind of annoying really quickly, so I hope the level design can properly account to having 4 people, but still be fun if it's just yourself. We'll see how that goes though. And of course we have some screenshots, so let's take a look. This one actually looks really good. I like the general level aesthetic of what we've seen in the trailers so far. It looks really not like different per se, but it feels fresh. It's not just like Green Hill. Like, if anything, this reminds me more like a little bit of Splash Hill. Kind of reminds me of that, like a little bit, but of course actually good this time, because it's not Sonic 4. And we have this image, which now that it's in a sunset, it kind of looks like Green Hill, which is interesting. But yeah, honestly, especially the lighting, I think the lighting here looks pretty good. There's a little bit that's kind of off. Like, I wish this actually reflected a bit more light. But other than that, I'm liking it quite a lot. This jungle area is really good too. I'll put some footage of that on screen because we actually got some footage from IGN of it, and I think it looks pretty good. I will say the general sort of animation work here looks really good. Like, it seems like Sega's finally stepped up their game in terms of like how they want it to look. Especially compared to like Frontiers, oh my god, there's like actual depth in the animation here. And honestly, when it comes to classic Sonic, I don't mind him being in 3D as long as they get the physics right, because we've seen with obviously like Sonic 4 where it's just garbage physics, but of course in Sonic Mania it's amazing. But we don't know who's making it. It could be Dims. I kind of doubt it, but I guess we'll know soon enough. But hopefully it actually ends up being good, because it looks good. Let's just hope that the physics are right, so the level design is right. And yeah, we've also seen quite a few new gimmicks here too. There's this one where you like have these little vines that you pull up on and fling yourself up with, which I think we've seen that before, something similar before. It's just nice to see stuff that isn't reused a million times over. Even if it's still reused, it feels fresh because we haven't seen it a million times, There is a shot of Amy breaking a wall, so we know that Amy may actually share level design with Knuckles, because obviously in, for example, Sonic 3, Knuckles has his own separate parts of stages because he's different. He's built different. But since Amy has a hammer and can break stuff, maybe in this game there might be level design for Knuckles and Amy. Just something to think about. And there's also like this sort of like 8-bit looking zone. Not 8-bit per se, but like retro, I guess. And of course this displays one of the many power-ups where they can, for one, turn into a squid. And of course, like we saw earlier on the website, where there's this power-up where Sonic can, like, become liquid, I guess? That's the best way to describe it I can think of. And you've also seen this one, where it looks like a special stage, I think? I think it's a special stage, where it's kind of like a Sonic Boom type inner beam, and you use that to like dodge obstacles and stuff. Oh, and also the Sonic 1 special stage is back. I haven't seen any Chaos Emeralds in here, so I think it's just a bonus stage. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with what we've seen here so far. We haven't seen anything that's like immediately alarming, like, oh my god, this game's gonna be terrible. Like, the physics from what we've seen seem to be fine. We'll have to have more gameplay to know for a fact. And of course, we'll need it in our own hands to make our own thoughts. But from what we've seen, looks like it's on the mark. My only issue is that the game might be $60. We've seen where, it's actually funny, Wario64 pulled up a page from Best Buy where it was listed at $70, and then the official Sonic Twitter said, actually it's $60 for the base game. So what that means is there's probably going to be a digital deluxe version, which is perfectly fine, but it depends on what they lock behind digital deluxe. If it's justifiable, sure, but they've been known to, you know, put stupid things like shoe colors behind digital deluxe, which that's stupid. Honestly, the digital deluxe is okay if they don't go far with it. Like we've seen with stuff like Sonic Colors Ultimate and Monkey Ball, where they locked like 4-day early bird passes behind digital deluxe, which kind of sucks. I guess with old games it's okay, like re-releases, but they did the same thing with Persona 5 Strikers, a brand new game, so it's like, wow, why would you do that to us? Though to be honest, I'm just glad the game is not exclusive to Epic Games. Obviously we saw with Sonic Colors Ultimate it was, and it took almost 2 years to come to Steam, and by that point no one cared. I'm just glad that this game's actually gonna be pretty accessible. It's on literally everything, so they're definitely trying to make that money on this one. From what we've seen, the big emphasis on co-op is probably gonna be a pretty big selling point, because obviously with something like Sonic Frontiers, there's no multiplayer of any kind. The only thing that's even remotely comparable is the leaderboards for like the time attack and stuff. They're definitely trying to go for a completely different market than Frontiers, which obviously makes sense because it's 2D versus 3D, but even then, this could be like a serious 2D game. Something like Sonic Mania, where it did not get that casual market at all. Like we even saw back when Sonic Mania came out, like reviewers were having trouble with it because they thought it was too hard, which, to be fair, Sonic Mania is not like an easy game per se, it's just you have to learn it. It definitely has like that classic design philosophy in terms of like lives and standard level design, and this game doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be more simplistic. Just from the 10 minutes of gameplay we saw from IGN, it doesn't look to be so classic in its design philosophy. Of course, in terms of like level design, not in terms of aesthetic, because I mean, honestly, if you like converted the 3D to 2D sprites that would work on Genesis, it doesn't look that different. But the level design definitely is more reminiscent of, if anything, I'd say Sonic CD, because like Sonic CD, it isn't hard, it's just kind of convoluted. The jungle stage that we saw definitely kind of reminds me of CD, just a little bit, which I like CD, so I don't mind that, but I know a lot of people do not like Sonic CD at all, so those people are probably not going to be too happy, if it ends up being like CD, of course. We'll just have to wait and see. I hope we get more gameplay soon. Maybe at the Xbox showcase? I doubt it, just because like they're so close to each other. Yeah, we already have this 10 minutes of gameplay from IGN, but as far as like when we'll get more gameplay, I hope it's soon. I really do, because I would like to have more, just so if I make any more videos on the game I don't have to reuse stuff. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Quick shout out to Azu Crystal for her $2 Patreon pledge. I have the Patreon link in the description, and I also have my YouTube memberships open if you want to support that. So if you have any thoughts and opinions about the game, put them in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and like and all that. That really does help. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.